scars? I have a few. I have one in my back where I was cut at work and a little burn here. And ironically, when I look at the scar, especially the one here on my wrist, it reminds me of what had happened and actually floods me with good memories. The people that I worked with, the wonderful times I had with them, and the tremendous friendships. So isn't it funny how joy and good things can come out of pain? I would suggest that you own your scars. They're a sign of strength. There was once a young man who was getting to where he wasn't really that young anymore. Lived in a large city, and he was a very nice person. His family and friends loved and adored him. He had a big heart and was very kind. And they would set him up with dates, but they would never go beyond that first date. The women would go out with him, they'd meet him, but he would never be able to get a second date, and they'd never tell him why. And he had a horrible scar down one side of his face, and he just knew that was the problem. And he felt so cheated in life, he so wanted a relationship. So he decided to visit a friend of his, a sage and wise rabbi. And he visited with him, and through tears he told him the story. He goes, I want to be a husband. I think I'd be a good father. I'm tired of being alone. And he explained that he really thought the scar was the problem. And the wise rabbi listened, and then he told him softly, he goes, on your next date, here's what I suggest. Own your scar. Talk about it with confidence and not shame. Tell her how you got it. Bring it out into the open. And he thought, well, that's a novel idea. He'd never done that before. So he agreed that he would do that. A few months later, a friend came up to him and told him about a lovely young lady that she had set him up with. And he described the lady to him as someone quite vibrant and beautiful and full of life. And he thought to himself, oh no. He hoped his friend was exaggerating, because he thought if she was all that, she's not going to want someone who's damaged like me. But he agreed to meet her, and he met her at the restaurant, and she was everything they had described. She was quite lovely, very vibrant and out there, big, kind heart. And as they sat there, he goes, you're probably wondering about my scar, how I got this. I'd like to tell you the story of it. And he started looking down at the table, and he told her the story. He goes, when I was 20 years old, I was heading home at night in the city, and I heard a young woman scream. I took chase. I saw there's a man behind her, and I caught up with him and wrestled him to the ground and held him there long enough for her to get away. He pulled out a knife and he cut my face, and that's pretty much how I got this. At this point, he looks up at her, and she's shaking. Her eyes are just filled with tears streaming down her face, and he's taken aback by her emotion that it hit her that hard. And after a while, she broke the silence. She goes, I have prayed and wondered all these years, ever since that night, who it was that rescued me. Who was my hero? Was he okay? I just wanted to thank him. As you could guess, later they were married. Own your scars. They're a constant reminder of your strength, your character, your growth, what you've gone through in life. The person that comes out of the storm is not the same person that went into the storm. Own your scars.